The galaxy was in panic. From one corner of space to the other, desperate messages echoed through the stars. Alien worlds, strong and proud for thousands of years, were now screaming the same words. They are coming. Hide. Run. Surrender. One by one, powerful empires fell silent. Giant planets with huge fleets vanished in darkness. No warning. No survivors. Just silence. They called it the Black Tide. No one knew where it came from. No one knew what it wanted. But everyone knew one thing: it could not be stopped. The Black Tide was not like any enemy the galaxy had faced before. It was not an army. It was not a nation. It was a living storm, a dark swarm that moved through space like fire through dry grass. It swallowed stars, broke planets, and crushed fleets like insects. Entire civilizations gave up without fighting. Others tried to resist and were erased within hours. The Galactic Union, made of over 100 advanced species, called for an emergency meeting. On the shining world of Ulazar Prime, the leaders gathered for one last decision. The choice was simple: flee or die. So they ran. Every ship, every resource, every leader disappeared into deep space. The galaxy turned coward. But one planet did not run. One voice still stood. Earth. Earth had never been fully trusted by the rest of the galaxy. Humans were strange, unpredictable, and often too bold. They arrived late in galactic politics, yet quickly became loud. They questioned everything. They argued. They laughed in the face of danger. Now, as the Black Tide grew closer, all expected Earth to fall silent too. But it didn't. When the Galactic Union sent its final message, "Leave now. There is no hope," Earth replied with only 3 words: "Let them come." The message came from Admiral Jack Raven, the commander of Earth's planetary defense. He stood before a giant screen, showing fleeing alien ships and dying worlds. His face was calm. His voice was strong. "We are not leaving," he said. "Earth stands. If we are the last, then will be the last wall." Aliens across the stars laughed. Some shook their heads. "A small planet like Earth," they whispered. "They're brave, but stupid." But Earth didn't listen. The very next day, Earth shut its borders. All traffic stopped. No one was allowed in or out. Earth's moons went dark. Space stations stopped broadcasting. From the outside, it looked like Earth had surrendered too. But inside the planet, something else was happening. The humans were preparing. Beneath the oceans, deep in the mountains, and far in space near Saturn and Neptune, secret human projects began to move. Old warships were pulled from storage. New weapons were tested. Artificial intelligence systems activated. Earth's best minds worked around the clock. General Amina Rourke, head of Earth's Global Command, gave a single order: no more fear, no more waiting. We stand. Across the planet, people didn't panic. They trained. They built. Teachers turned into signal officers. Miners became engineers. Farmers volunteered for drone duty. From children to elders, Earth stood together, not with fear, but with fire in their hearts. In the dark corners of space, alien refugees watched. They had escaped the Black Tide. They had lost everything. Now they waited for Earth to fall too. But what they saw shocked them. Earth did not cry. Earth did not beg. Earth sharpened its swords. One alien, a scientist from the fallen planet Noraxi, watched the news from a hidden lab. His hands trembled as he whispered to himself, "They're really going to fight it." Yes, Earth was going to fight the impossible. While the rest of the galaxy hid in fear, Earth became the last light in the darkness. And the humans, they were not planning to survive. They were planning to win. The galaxy believed Earth was silent. But deep under the silence, Earth was preparing for war. For years, humans had seen signs, small things the galaxy missed. Stars that faded too fast. Ships that vanished without warning. Whispers in deep space. So Earth made a choice: prepare in secret. While the Galactic Union argued in meetings, Earth built underground. While others laughed at human paranoia, Earth designed new weapons. They called it Project Sentinel. Its goal was simple: if the galaxy fell, Earth would stand alone and still fight. Under the icy land of Antarctica, far from any city, a hidden base woke up. Alarms flashed. Lights turned red. Massive doors opened, and soldiers rushed through metal halls. At the center, General Amina Rourke stood tall. She was not afraid. She had been waiting. "Activate all systems," she said. "The enemy is coming. We will be ready." Around her, holograms lit up the room. A map of the solar system showed red dots, enemy signals, moving fast. They would reach Earth in 6 days. Across the world, Operation Shield Wall began. In space near Saturn, a hidden fleet uncloaked. Ships painted black, silent, and sharp, moved like ghosts. These were stealth destroyers, unknown to the rest of the galaxy. On Earth's moon, long cannons began to rise from under the surface. They could fire magnetic rounds at light speed. Each shot could break through a battleship like paper. In orbit above Mars, 3 massive space stations powered up. They carried something no one had seen before: smart plasma mines that hunted their targets like sharks. Earth had kept its power hidden for years. Now, it was time to reveal it. But that was not all. Humans had always been good at something the galaxy forgot: unity in crisis. The world leaders held a quick meeting. There were no arguments, no delays, only one decision: we fight as one. Factories stopped making cars. They now made drones. Schools closed. Young people volunteered for Cyber Command. A systems ran training programs across the internet. In Africa, solar fields turned into launch sites. In Asia, old bunkers were reopened and refitted. In the oceans, nuclear submarines received new orders. Wait, then strike. Even civilians joined the cause. They shared energy, food, time, skills. Everyone had a role. Everyone stood behind Earth's defenders. Meanwhile, in deep space, alien scouts watched quietly. They couldn't believe it. Other planets screamed and fled. Earth had done something else. It had gone quiet, to prepare for war. One alien captain, Relok of the Sireni, watched Earth's ships move from his hidden satellite. He turned to his second officer, eyes wide. "They're not scared," he said. "They've been waiting for this." His officer replied, "Are they planning to win?" Relok nodded slowly. "Yes, they don't plan to survive. They plan to win." Back on Earth, General Amina walked into the core chamber of Project Sentinel. The room was huge, taller than a skyscraper, filled with blue light. At its center was Sentinel-1, the most powerful AI Earth ever made. It had never been activated, until now. She placed her hand on the console. "Sentinel-1," she said, "this is General Rourke. Initiate Earth Defense Protocol." The AI's eyes blinked to life. "Confirmed," it said. "All systems online. Defense grid active." The solar system shimmered with hidden power. Thousands of small satellites turned their faces toward deep space. Laser nets formed invisible walls. Nanobot clouds floated near Venus, ready to blind enemy sensors. Earth had turned into a fortress. 6 days. That was all the time left. But humans didn't wait for death. They sharpened their blades. The galaxy still laughed. But some had stopped laughing. Some alien survivors began whispering again. Earth is not afraid. They are planning something. Maybe, just maybe, they can do it. And in the cold, dark space beyond Pluto, the first shadow of the black tide appeared. Earth saw it, and Earth smiled. The sky near Pluto turned black. A wave of darkness moved toward the solar system. No lights, no signals, just silence. The black tide had arrived. Thousands of alien machines floated in space, sharp, dark, and alive. They looked like insects, but bigger than ships. Each one could break a planet's defenses alone. Together, they were a storm. Earth watched. From the hidden command base, General Amina Work gave her first order. Phase 1. Test the tide. In orbit near Neptune, Earth's stealth destroyers moved. They were fast, invisible to normal eyes. Their engines were quiet, their hulls cold. The first destroyer, Valkyrie, aimed its railgun. Inside, a solid tungsten spike charged with magnetic force. Target locked, the pilot said. Fire, came the reply. In 1 second, the spike shot across space. Faster than sound, faster than sight. It hit the Lee Black Tide drone and split it in two. The enemy didn't stop, but now it turned. The Black Tide saw Earth's first strike and responded. Hundreds of drones broke off from the swarm and charged toward Neptune. They moved like water, like wind, like a living nightmare. Valkyrie fired again and again. Other destroyers joined in. Earth's weapons worked. But the enemy moved too fast. Too many. In less than 5 minutes, 3 destroyers were gone, swallowed by the swarm. Inside the control center, Amina watched the screen flash red. Pull them back, she said. They've seen enough. Time for Phase 2. Across the solar system, Earth's defenses came online. Saturn's rings lit up with hidden plasma mines. The mines moved fast, locking onto targets. Boom, boom, boom. Explosions filled space. Dozens of enemy drones were destroyed. Near Mars, defense satellites activated their laser grids. Red beams sliced through the black storm. And yet, the Black Tide kept coming. Closer, stronger, faster. But Earth was not done. On the Moon, giant cannons fired into space. Each round carried shockwaves strong enough to shake a cruiser. Far below, on Earth's surface, citizens watched the skies. They didn't run. They didn't cry. They stood and listened. For the first time in history, the whole planet fought together. Eye-controlled drones flew in thousands, small, fast, and smart. They worked like flocks of birds, diving and spinning. In orbit, Sentinel-1 made decisions faster than any human could. Target left wing, it said. Redirect fire to Sector 7. Launch Swarm 8A. It was a perfect dance. Human courage, machine speed. But the Black Tide was learning. It adapted. Soon, its front lines split into smaller units. It began hacking into Earth's drones. Some defense satellites went dark. Inside the command base, alarms flashed. They're trying to break Sentinel's firewall, one officer said. Let them try, Amina replied. We have more to show them. She turned to her communication officer. Is the hammer ready? Yes, ma'am, he said. It's waiting near Jupiter. Send the order. Near Jupiter's dark side, a ship unlike any other woke up. It was long, silent, covered in strange metal. It had no crew, only one purpose. It was Earth's most dangerous weapon, the Hammer of Dawn. It aimed at the swarm now moving between Mars and Earth, its core charged. A massive beam of focused plasma shot across space, white and blinding. The Black Tide froze for a second. Then, it was fire. A hole opened in the swarm. Hundreds of drones were gone. Burned, melted, destroyed. The galaxy, watching from far, went silent. Alien survivors saw the blast. They whispered, "What was that? Earth has power like that. Can they really stop it?" But Earth knew better. This was only the beginning. The swarm closed the hole. It came forward again, angry now. Earth had shown its teeth. Now the enemy would bite back. General Amina Rourke stood tall. She looked at the growing red lines on the map. She saw the dark flood moving closer, but her voice stayed calm. "We hurt them," she said. "We can hurt them again." Ready Phase 3. The room went silent. Everyone understood. The next move would risk everything. But Earth would not back down. As the stars above grew darker, Earth stood bright and unshaken. The first clash was over, and the real war had just begun. The black tide kept coming. It had lost thousands of drones. Its ships were damaged. But it didn't stop. It never did. Now, the swarm had reached the inner solar system. Mars was under attack. Red dust flew into space as drones slammed into the defense stations. Some stations exploded. Some kept firing. But the tide was too big, too fast. Sentinel-1 sent a warning. Defense Line Delta is breaking. Inside Earth's command center, General Amina Rourke narrowed her eyes. "Begin Phase 3, she said. "Release the Guardians." From secret bunkers across Earth's surface, launch doors opened. Huge pods shot into the sky. They flew silently, passing through the clouds. Each pod carried something Earth had hidden for years. Not soldiers, not tanks. Living machines. They were called Guardians, part human, part AI. Built to defend Earth if everything else failed. Some looked like giant wolves. Others like dragons made of metal. All of them moved with deadly speed. They didn't need pilots. They had one mission: protect Earth's skies. In orbit, the Guardians reached the swarm. And then, they attacked. They moved faster than drones. They dodged, spun, and tore the enemy apart. One Guardian called Blaze Wolf leaped from drone to drone, using metal claws to rip them open. Another, Iron Serpent, shot plasma from its tail, burning through the dark clouds. Earth's soldiers cheered from their stations. For the first time, they felt hope. But Earth wasn't just fighting with machines. The people fought too. In cities, volunteers helped repair communication towers. Farmers gave their food to army camps. Scientists stayed awake for days, finding weak points in the swarm's patterns. In Africa, a young boy named Kobe hacked into a drone signal using just a school computer. He sent the information to Earth's command. That data helped Sentinel-1 make better defense plans. In India, doctors turned bullet trains into mobile hospitals. In Brazil, people used 3D printers to make drone parts. The whole world had become a battlefield and a team. In orbit, the battle got worse. The Guardians were strong, but not endless. Many were falling. Even the stealth destroyers were down to their last weapons. The black tide began moving closer to Earth. Alarms rang in the command center. Enemy fleet has passed Mars. They'll reach Earth's orbit in 6 hours. General Amina clenched her fists. She looked at the main screen. It showed Earth glowing blue and green, beautiful and full of life. She whispered, "We can't let them touch it." Then she stood up and spoke loudly. "Activate the core." The room froze. No one had used the core. It was Earth's last energy weapon, so powerful it could burn anything. But it came with a risk. It could damage Earth's orbit, maybe even harm the planet itself. But there was no other choice. In a secret station above Earth, the core cannon woke up. It pulled energy from the sun. It glowed brighter than a star. Earth's power was now in one single weapon. Sentinel-1 gave the final calculation. Firing now will destroy 60% of the swarm. Collateral damage, minimal. General Amina gave a slow nod. "Do it." The station fired. A beam of pure light exploded into the black sky. It hit the swarm. There was no sound, only light. Bright, endless light. When it faded, the swarm was broken. Huge pieces of enemy ships floated in space, burning. The black tide had taken a heavy blow. But Earth was not cheering. Everyone knew it wasn't over. Inside the broken swarm, something moved. One giant ship, black, spiked, alive. It hadn't joined the fight before. It had been watching. Now it was coming forward. Sentinel-1 scanned it. "This is a command hive," the AI said. "Strongest enemy unit. It has never been seen before." General Amina stared at the screen. "So, the real battle starts now." Earth had won the first fight, but the enemy had just revealed its true leader. Now, Earth's heart would be tested like never before. The Black Tide had shown its true face. The command hive was a massive ship, dark as night, with thousands of spikes, like claws reaching out into space. It moved slowly, but with deadly purpose. Behind it, the rest of the swarm regrouped. Fewer now, but still enough to fill the sky. Earth's commanders were quiet. Everyone knew this was it. General Amina Rourke stood at the front of the command center. Her eyes never left the screen. The battle had only begun, but now they had to face the real enemy. "We've hurt them," Amina said, "but they still have the command hive. That's their brain. If we don't stop it, they'll win." One of her officers spoke up. "The hive is protected by a fleet of smaller ships. If we can break through, the core's energy will take it down." General Amina nodded. "But getting past those ships won't be easy." The Black Tide ships were coming closer, faster. Earth's last line of defense was now a broken, tangled mess. The Guardians had done their best, but many were lost. The stealth destroyers couldn't stay hidden forever. "Prepare everything," Amina ordered. Phase 4, full assault. Hundreds of drones launched from Earth's surface. More came from the Moon, from Mars, from every hidden base. This was the final fight. The Earth fleet moved toward the hive, shields up, weapons primed. Above the battlefield, the Hammer of Dawn took its place. It had only one goal now, to break the hive in half. For hours, the battle raged. Earth's fleet fought with everything they had: lasers, missiles, plasma cannons, and railguns. But the Black Tide was strong. The hive sent smaller ships to block Earth's attacks, while drones swarmed in waves, trying to tear through defenses. The explosions lit up space. Ships collided. The light from distant stars flickered. At the command center, General Amina stared at the screens. Every ship, every drone, each one was a life. Her heart raced, but her face stayed calm. Suddenly, a loud alarm blared. "Enemy reinforcements incoming," one officer shouted. Amina's eyes widened. More ships, far larger than before, were emerging from the shadows of the command hive. They were the final wave. The Black Tide had brought its full force. "Hold the line," Amina shouted. "Earth doesn't fall today." She turned to the tech officer. "Activate the last defense. Send it now." A new wave of energy pulsed from Earth's surface. A deep hum filled the station. In the final minutes of the battle, Earth's planetary defense cannons fired. They were slower, older, but powerful. The first cannon shot its beam into the sky, cutting through the swarm. It hit a Black Tide ship, shattering it into pieces. The second cannon followed. The third. The fourth. One by one, the huge ships started to fall. But still, the hive pressed on. "Get ready," Amina whispered to herself. "We need a miracle." Just then, Blaze Wolf, the last guardian, broke through the swarm. It was badly damaged, but it kept going. With a roar, it charged straight toward the command hive. The drones tried to stop it, but Blaze Wolf was too fast, too strong. It reached the hive and planted an explosive charge deep inside its hull. "Blaze Wolf is down," someone shouted. "But it's done its job." The charge exploded. The hive shook. It groaned as if it were alive. And then it cracked. A shockwave of energy spread out from the command hive. The last of the Black Tide ships exploded in every direction. For a moment, there was nothing but silence. Then, pieces of the hive began to float in space. It was over. The Black Tide had fallen. But Earth's victory came at a cost. The battle had taken everything. Thousands of ships destroyed. Countless lives lost. The fleet was a shadow of its former self. General Amina walked slowly to the window, staring at the distant stars. "We've won," she said, her voice soft. "But we can't forget. The galaxy saw what Earth could do. We've shown them all that we are not weak. Not anymore." One officer approached her. "General, what now?" Amina smiled, her face determined. "Now we rebuild. But we're not hiding anymore. Earth is ready for whatever comes next." Earth was silent. The skies that had once been filled with the terrifying presence of the black tide were now calm. The stars shined down once more, but they were no longer just distant lights. Now, they were a reminder that Earth had stood against the dark and won. General Amina Rourke stood at the command center, watching the last remnants of the black tide burn up in Earth's atmosphere. The battle was over, but the weight of what had happened still hung in the air. They had saved Earth. They had pushed back the swarm that had once destroyed entire worlds. But the price had been high. Thousands of soldiers, civilians, and guardians had fallen. The fleet was scattered, its strength almost gone. And yet, Earth stood strong. "It's over," one officer said, breathing a sigh of relief. "The swarm's gone. The black tide is nothing now." Amina didn't respond right away. Her eyes stayed fixed on the screen in front of her, showing the wreckage of the enemy ships scattered in space. The survivors of the black tide had retreated far beyond the galaxy, leaving only silence. "We've won," Amina said quietly, her voice steady but tired. "But what happens now? The galaxy saw what we can do, but they don't know us yet." The officer glanced at her. "You mean the other species, the ones that fled when the black tide came?" "Yes," Amina replied. "They may come looking for us. Some might try to test us. Others will want to make peace. Earth's place in the galaxy has changed forever. We need to be ready." The officer nodded. "Then we rebuild, and we stand strong." Amina smiled, though it was a weary smile. "That's right. Earth's new beginning isn't just about surviving. It's about growing." The world began to rebuild quickly. Humanity had proved it could defend itself. Now it was time to show the galaxy that Earth wasn't just a small, weak planet. Earth had potential. In every major city across Earth, the people moved forward. Scientists began to study the wreckage of the black tide's ships, learning from the technology left behind. They built new weapons, new ships, and new strategies to defend Earth against anything that might come next. Engineers worked around the clock, repairing the damage caused by the battle. The fleet was being rebuilt. The Valkyrie, Blaze Wolf, and other surviving ships were getting upgrades. More Guardians were being created, stronger than before. Politicians gathered for emergency meetings. They had to make the world work together. No more fighting between nations. This was a new age. Earth would stand united, and any threat from the stars would be answered by all of humanity. Across space, the other civilizations watched Earth carefully. Some were afraid. Some were curious. But all of them knew one thing. Earth was no longer just a small, distant planet. It was the last line of defense. In a distant star system, the Galactic Council held an emergency meeting. "The humans have done what no one thought possible," said the high-ranking alien delegate, his voice filled with awe. "They defeated the black tide. We thought they were weak, insignificant, and now we've seen their power." Another delegate, a sleek, silver-skinned alien, nodded. "We cannot ignore them any longer. Earth's strength is not just in its weapons. It's in its will to fight. They are different from the other species we've met." The leader of the Galactic Council turned to the others. "Should we approach them? Should we try to form an alliance, or are they too dangerous to trust?" The room fell silent. No one knew what Earth's response would be. Would they try to join the galaxy? Or would they stay apart, holding their power to themselves? Back on Earth, General Amina Rourke stood in the middle of a huge new command center. It was being built as a symbol of Earth's strength. Amina wasn't worried about the future of Earth. She had always known that Earth could survive anything thrown its way. But now, more than ever, Earth's path would depend on its choices. Would humanity choose peace, or would they continue to prepare for the unknown threats that lurked in the galaxy? The next step was clear. Prepare for the first communication with the Galactic Council, Amina said, turning to the officer standing beside her. We'll show them we're ready. We'll show them what Earth is made of. The stars that once seemed so far away now felt within reach. Earth was no longer a helpless planet, hiding from the universe. It had fought back. It had won. And now, Earth's story was just beginning. In every corner of the world, there was hope. The black tide had been defeated, but humanity knew the fight was far from over. The next chapter was waiting, and Earth would face it as one. The days after the victory were a mix of celebration and uncertainty. Earth had won. The black tide was gone. But the galaxy had changed, and so had Earth. Now, the true test began. What would humanity's place be in the stars? General Amina Rourke stood at the heart of Earth's new command center, looking at a screen showing the galaxy. The map had changed since the last time she saw it. New paths, new alliances, new dangers. Everything was different now. Earth had proven its strength. The other species had seen the power of humanity's will. But the question remained, what would Earth do next? Amina thought about the other worlds in the galaxy, the ones that had fled when the black tide came. Some would want to make peace, some would want to learn from Earth's victory. But others would be afraid. Some might see Earth as a threat, and that fear could lead to new wars. Peace was uncertain, but Amina knew one thing for sure. Earth wasn't going to hide anymore. We won't back down, she said quietly to herself. Months passed, and Earth prepared for its next step. The first communication with the Galactic Council was set. The Council consisted of many alien species, each with their own powers and interests. Some were peaceful, some were warlike. Some didn't know what to make of humanity. But Earth had a voice now, and that voice was strong. The Council's leaders knew it. On the day of the meeting, Amina stood before the Galactic Council's representatives, her heart steady. Beside her, diplomats from Earth prepared for their first official meeting with the galaxy. The council chamber was filled with alien species, some towering, some tiny, others completely unlike anything humans had ever seen. The air hummed with tension. The leader of the council, a being with glowing blue skin and many eyes, stepped forward. Humanity, the leader said, you have proven yourselves. The black tide is gone, thanks to your strength and courage. But now we must ask, what is it that Earth seeks? Will you join us, or remain alone in the vastness of the universe? Amina stepped forward, her voice clear and strong. We don't want to hide anymore. Earth is ready to stand with the galaxy, but only on our terms. We will fight with you if necessary, but we won't be controlled. The galaxy has seen what we can do. We will be respected, or we will remain apart. The room was silent. The other species watched closely, waiting for the council's response. The council leader spoke again. We understand, Earth. We will give you the respect you deserve. But remember, the galaxy is vast, and not all beings are as peaceful as we are. There are forces out there that may challenge you. Are you ready for that? Amina's eyes met the council leaders. We are, she said. We've already faced the worst. Whatever comes next, we'll be ready. Back on Earth, the news spread quickly. Humanity had not only survived the black tide, but had also earned the galaxy's respect. The first step had been taken. Now Earth had to decide its future. There were debates, of course. Some wanted Earth to remain isolated, to keep its power and knowledge to itself. Others, like Amina, believed that Earth had to stand as part of something larger, to lead when necessary, but also to protect humanity's future. As Earth prepared to explore new worlds, build new ships, and strengthen its alliances, General Amina Rourke reflected on what the future might hold. The battle against the black tide was just the beginning. she said, watching the stars above. "The galaxy is full of unknowns, but we've proven that Earth can face anything." The world felt different now. Humanity had tasted the reality of space. Earth was no longer just a small planet in a vast universe. It was a force to be reckoned with. Amina stepped away from the command center and looked out at the bright blue sky. "We've shown them what Earth can do. Now it's time to show them who we really are." Over the next few years, Earth's fleet grew. More ships were built. More alliances were formed. Humanity was not just surviving anymore. It was thriving. The galaxy began to change too. The black tide had come and gone, but its legacy lived on. The galaxy would never forget the day Earth fought back and won. Now, Earth was ready to shape its own future, to guide others, and to protect its own. As Amina Rourke stood watching the first of Earth's new warships leave the atmosphere, she smiled. Humanity was no longer afraid. They had found their strength. And the universe would never be the same again. The end.